Good evening, everyone. Keith Johnson, CPA, here with your Business Beat for November 12th, 2021. Had a good Veterans Day. Yes, I got a haircut this morning. I feel so much better with it. And hopefully everybody is starting to unwind from another work week. Anyway, wanted to discuss a couple things that are in the news. Not much as far as anything congressional today, but we did get a report that is a little unsettling. Well, it depends on your perspective, but the Great Resignation continues. The Great Resignation is the phenomenon that started earlier this year, in that people, were quitting because they were making more on unemployment than they were at their regular jobs. So people were like, oh yeah, I'll just quit and all that. And people thought, well, everybody thought, well, once the unemployment benefits dried up, people would go back to work. Everybody thought it was, pretty rational line of thinking. And by and large, although Florida was a little earlier, federal unemployment, the enhanced unemployment benefits ended in September. So people were thinking, oh, okay, well, September, October, we're going to see, people starting to go back to work and maybe a little more stability in the job market, but that's definitely not the case. This past month, in October, we got a report saying that there are 10.4 million unfilled job openings in the country. Now that takes into account everything, as far as it could be schools, it could be fast food, it could be hospitality, it could be financial services, it can be all sorts of stuff. So there's always going to be a little bit of a mismatch, because the talent pool that's out there of people who are not working may not, it doesn't entirely match with the jobs that are available. To be honest, even during the pandemic, we had a lot of places that were still advertising for people, but those jobs went unfilled because there really wasn't a skills match. And other things, lockdowns, government regulations, things like that. Well, basically what happened was, it's the 10.4 million jobs that were created, that are open now, excuse me. It's actually down a little bit. It's dropped a couple of 100,000 for the last couple months. So I think we are reaching a peak. But the problem is that 4.4 million people quit their jobs in October. And, because they thought, well, they can find something better. They were confident they can find something better because places like fast food places and restaurants, hospitality, they are dramatically raising their wages. I get that. I have no problem with that. My issue with, raising the minimum wage or whatever are people, if that's done, will the people that will get a big raise, will they correspond and jack up their level of service, commitment, attitude by that same amount? A lot of times it's no. So that's why I kind of am a little hesitant about seeing all these wages go up, because the value added is usually not there. I mean, just go through a drive-through. Have you seen any, with all these wage increases, have you seen improvements in the service? Be an interesting study to do. So 4.4 million people quit their jobs. Now, there's a lot of reasons for it. It's not just It's not just wages. It's the vaccine mandates, which, I believe if you want to get vaccine, fine. I have no problem with that. It may not be a bad idea, but the problem is it's when it's forced upon you. So I think a lot of people are fed up with it, and so they did quit their jobs. Also, on the flip side, you have people that are, hesitant to go back to work because they don't want to catch the virus. So I don't think that there'll be, so we're seeing a lot of people quit because they're not confident in the work environment, and that they are, they'll get sick. I'm of the opinion, if you can do a lot to boost your immune system, and certainly reduce everything that can go wrong. Can you still get sick? Sure, but there's, as I always say, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Unless you're the cat, that's not a good thing. And I try not to hear crap. Osceola's right back there. He probably heard me. It's not a good thing when he does. And he is staring at me like, I could feel his eyes burning in the back of my head, but I think that's more because he wants his dinner. Anyway, so it doesn't look, we're seeing some articles and some research saying that the Great Resignation really won't subside anytime soon. It will probably go on through at least 2022, or at least well into the year, mainly because, again, vaccine mandates and, and wages. And I think, the paradigm will, the unemployment or employment paradigm will go. I mean, people are more confident, and the ways that they, and they're talking to employers, there's a lot of consultants out there that are telling employers what they need to do. For instance, yes, you want to raise your pay. Again, you want to raise your standards too, but you want to raise your pay, but also reduce your amount of time to hire. Now, I've gone through it. You've gone through it in the past, where an employer, a company will kind of jerk you around a bit, and they'll say, hey, they won't make up their mind for 60 days or 90 days. Not cool. I think that if you're serious about hiring somebody, you'll find a way, and you'll do it within just a few weeks. If you're going, if you take more than maybe 30 days start to finish, you're being a little too picky, because the qualified candidates are out there. It's just you may not be willing to accept that. So we're seeing that, a lot of people are quitting because they know that they can get jobs quickly. So employers are speeding up the hiring process, which is good. And then I think also, just make sure that you have reasonable virus procedures. Kind of try and balance it out. You want to keep people safe, but at the same time, you want to try and figure out ways that, in keeping with OSHA, of course, I don't know, that's a done deal yet. I think that that's going to be, we're seeing a lot of lawsuits on it. And I think one of these days in the very near future, the courts will at least postpone it for a while. So I don't think that January 4th deadline, I don't think that's hard and fast. I think there will be some court action before then. But I think businesses are going to try and find some creative ways to get around it. They always do. I mean, whenever something comes up, you just figure a way to get around it. So I think employers are going to have to try and find a balance between, keeping and attracting workers who, for whatever reason, don't want to get vaccinated, and that's certainly their right, and also making sure people are safe. So that's the way I look at it. Another thing that's happening, kind of related, but not totally on topic, is the Postal Service. Postal Service, if you have been watching the news, in the last month, the Postal Service kind of lowered its standards. Yeah, they're not into the quality that is that they're looking for. Actually, what's happening is the Postal Service, very simplified, more or less, they have two major sides of everything. They have the first class mail, which is your bills. Your bills used to be letters. Of course, nobody sends letters anymore, but advertisements, things like that. Useless campaign stuff. We have an election right now in where I live in Jacksonville, and I'm eligible, and I vote like I have in pretty much every election since I was eligible to vote. I can do without the mail, but it is part of the first class mail. The other part of the equation is your packages. And what's happening is, thanks to your FedEx and UPS and Amazon and all of that, where the Postal Service has decided to become more competitive and move their resources into better package delivery and trying to increase the revenue. Unless you've been hiding under a rock, you know that the Postal Service has been losing money for over a decade. And so basically what they're doing now is they're saying, hey, everybody's paying their bills online, they're getting their bills online, their bank statements, all of that. So let's focus all of our resources on package delivery. Well, turns out that's in the last fiscal year. These are preliminary estimates, but the first class postage revenue, that'd be your stamps and everything, and certified return receipts, they dropped about 2.5% in the last fiscal year. I think it was in the 9 months ending September 30th, which is the fiscal year for the U.S. government. And but package revenue increased by 12.4%. So basically what that means is that, Postal Service is looking and say, hey, we're making more money with packages, so we're going to focus more of our resources and attention on it. So what they're doing is, they're now advising people to tack on a few more days for first class delivery. So for instance, I think their previous standard was 5 business days from coast to coast. So like if I sent my birth mom, and who lives in the northwest corner of Washington State, a letter, and I live in Northeast Florida, it should get about roughly a week to get to her. Of course, I email her a lot more. So, now they're saying, count on about 7 days of delivery time, 7 business days. So they are lowering the standards. Of course, it's never good to do that, but I can see where they're coming from. So, but at the same time, there's, because of supply chain issues, and because more and more people are going to be shopping this year, and because there's people that are even leaving the delivery jobs, there could be a mess at Christmas time. So I've said it before, I think I said it earlier this week, get your Christmas shopping done as soon as possible. And, I would try and get it done by the end of November if you can, because that won't be a a pretty scene if you wait too late. Last year, of course, we had all the horror stories about that. So anyway, those are pretty much the two big issues that I saw today. No huge economic issues outside of that, but that doesn't mean, we won't have a bunch more next week. So if anything breaks, I will talk to y'all tomorrow. If not, have an awesome weekend, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye.